Alien parasitic creatures are falling from the sky and appearing all over the country. They invade people's ears, devour their brains, and then take control of their bodies. With a human appearance, these parasites live among humans and feed on them. High school student Shinichi is asleep when a parasite attempts to enter his ear. Since he's wearing earphones, the parasite tries his nose instead, waking him up. He fights it off, but it penetrates his arm. Shinichi screams and quickly wraps the earphone cord around his arm to stop it. His mother, Nobuko, hears the noise and checks on him but finds nothing wrong. The next day, Shinichi feels something strange in his hand, but decides to ignore it and go to school where he meets his friend Satomi. Suddenly, his hand acts on its own and touches her without his control. During class, he reaches out to pick up an eraser, and suddenly his arm extends to grab it. Later, during gym class, he throws a ball into the basket from a distance without even looking. He begins to suspect that he has a strange illness. When he gets home, he searches online. Just then, an eye appears in his hand. He takes a knife and tries to cut it open to check. Suddenly, his hand transforms into a terrifying creature, frightening him. Soon after, it changes shape again. It turns out it's capable of reshaping itself, and it reveals that after failing to invade his brain, it lives within his right hand and survives off nutrients from his blood. Later at school, the creature in his right hand asks to be called Miggy, who is capable of rapidly learning vast amounts of knowledge and takes an interest in fencing and archery. Meanwhile, other parasites that have also taken control of their victims begin to prey on humans. One day, as Shinichi is heading home after school, Miggy senses the presence of another parasite nearby and drags Shinichi to follow it to a restaurant, where they sneak in through the back door, only to find a parasite feeding on a human. The creature senses Miggy's presence and offers him an arm to eat, but soon realizes Miggy hasn't taken over the brain. Miggy senses the intent to kill and tells Shinichi to run, but the front door is locked. Miggy warns the creature to back off because it will die if Shinichi dies. The creature cuts off its own hand and offers Miggy to live in its arm, so they can both feed on Shinichi. Seeing Miggy hesitate, the creature starts to attack. A fight ensues, and Miggy utilizes the combat skills he has learned to decapitate the creature. Relieved, Shinichi thanks Miggy for saving his life, but Miggy tells him that he's just protecting himself. Sometime later, the police arrive at the restaurant. Detective Hirama begins investigating the murders and is shocked to learn that human fingers were found in the victim's stomach. The next day at school, the principal introduces a new chemistry teacher, Ryoko. Miggy immediately recognizes that she is also a host of a parasite, and Ryoko senses Miggy as well. Later, they confront Ryoko about her intentions for coming to the school. She assures them that she means no harm and only wants a normal life. She then invites them to a more private conversation at an aquarium where she introduces two other parasites, Hideo, a high school student, and Mr. A cop who prefers not to reveal his real name. Ryoko explains that they have found a way to feed on humans without attracting media attention, and they should help each other to live in human society. Ryoko also reveals that she conducted an experiment with Mr. A and discovered that she is now pregnant with a human baby. They only want to protect themselves and ask Miggy and Shinichi to cooperate. When they refuse, she warns them not to attempt to get in their way, as she can eliminate all the students in 3 seconds. After they depart, Miggy warns Shinichi to be careful of Mr. A as he senses a killing intent. Afterward, Mr. A and Hideo are having dinner, while Ryoko consumes human food for her experiment. Mr. A questions why Shinichi and Miggy should join them. She explains that they are important subjects for research if they want to survive in human society. She also advises them to learn how to smile, which is an essential skill for socializing with humans. The next day, as Shinichi is heading home, he runs into Mr. A. Miggy senses Mr. A's intention to kill and his superior combat skills. Miggy instructs Shinichi to lead him into an alley where they confront Mr. A, who sees Miggy as a dangerous parasite that needs to be eliminated. The two engage in a fierce fight, during which Shinichi slowly moves closer to his opponent until he is close enough. Following Miggy's command, Shinichi impales Mr. A with an iron bar. Mr. A collapses to the ground before Shinichi runs home in fear. However, Mr. A doesn't die immediately. While he's still alive, the parasite has some time to infect others. Just then, Nobuko returns from work and notices Mr. A in the alley. She approaches him to check on him but ends up being possessed. Shortly after, Miggy senses a parasite approaching. Shinichi quickly grabs a knife from the kitchen as Nobuko enters the room. Miggy warns Shinichi that Mr. A has taken over his mother's body, but Shinichi refuses to believe and threatens to kill Miggy for trying to attack her. Suddenly, the parasite reveals itself and pierces Shinichi's heart. After Nobuko leaves, Miggy enters Shinichi's body through the wound. 2 days later, Shinichi eventually regains consciousness and walks to the bathroom to check the wound. Miggy reveals that he used his cells to repair all the damaged tissue tissue and then gradually returns to his hand through the bloodstream. However, Shinichi is devastated by the loss of his mother. He gathers himself and goes to the school to confront Ryoko, asking about Mr. A's whereabouts, but Ryoko refuses to disclose any information. An argument ensues between them as Shinichi pulls out a knife. As Ryoko prepares to engage, she notices that he and Miggy have started to merge. Finding them interesting, she decides to spare them. Shinichi throws his knife at her, but Ryoko effortlessly catches it and throws it back, narrowly missing his face. After that, Shinichi tells Miggy that they must find Mr. A and kill him for revenge. In the following days, Shinichi and Miggy wander around the city, attempting to find Mr. A. As they emerge from the subway station, Miggy senses several parasites nearby and leads them to a crowded political rally. They are shocked to discover that the mayoral candidate named Takeshi and his companions have been taken over by parasites. At home, Miggy speculates that the parasites want to take control of the city for their own benefit. Shortly after, Detective Hirama and Detective Tsuji pay a visit. Hirama asks him about the recent murder of a police officer in the area, but Shinichi denies knowing anything about it. The next day, Shinichi is shocked to see Hideo has transferred to their school and confronts him about his intentions. Satomi scolds Shinichi for being rude and insists that they shake hands. Hideo applies pressure to squeeze Shinichi's hand, only to be surprised when Shinichi squeezes back with equal force. Hideo then finds Ryoko and informs her that Shinichi's strength has increased significantly after merging with Miggy's cells, far exceeding the average human level. Afterward, Miggy explains that his cells are still alive inside Shinichi, causing his body to become stronger like the parasite and also affecting Shinichi's personality as he becomes colder and more aggressive. Miggy reveals that his own body experiences changes as well, as he sleeps for 4 hours every day, without knowing when it will happen and cannot be awakened. If it occurs during a battle, Shinichi will be left to face the situation alone. At the police station, detectives read online that parasites can be identified when one pulls out their hair and the hair will wriggle. One day after school, Satomi offers to cook dinner for Shinichi, and they go to buy groceries. As they leave the store, they see a puppy that has been hit by a car. Shinichi picks up the puppy and coldly throws it into the trash. Satomi is upset and confronts him, but he says the dead dog is just a piece of meat. Shocked by his coldness, Satomi leaves disappointed. Meanwhile, the school board discovers that Ryoko is pregnant and fires her. She returns home where she finds her parents visiting her, but her mother quickly realizes that this is not her daughter and starts screaming. Ryoko then reveals her true form, piercing the heart of the father and decapitating the mother. The next day at school, Hideo is modeling in the art room when Yuko jokingly pulls out his hair, only to be horrified when she sees it wriggling. All the girls realize that he is a parasite and begin to panic. Yuko tries to escape, but Hideo grabs her and pulls her back, causing the girls to gather in fear. Hideo then reveals his true form as a parasite and threatens to kill the girls. Satomi grabs a bottle of paint remover and throws it at him, causing him to lose control and attack randomly. Satomi urges the girls to run, but in the chaos, Shimada kills Yuko, splitting her in half. Shinichi hears the screams and rushes to the art room, only to be horrified to find all his classmates brutally killed. This causes Shinichi to go into complete shock, but Miggy helps to calm him down before they continue their search for Hideo. Meanwhile, Satomi hides in a locker, but Hideo discovers her and knocks it down. As she tries to run, he attacks her. Just as he is about to kill Satomi, Shinichi arrives in time to save her and confronts Shimada, who severs Shinichi's hand. Miggy quickly returns to prepare for battle. At that moment, Ryoko shows up and throws a Molotov at Hideo. Shinichi grabs Satomi and jumps out of the window, landing safely on the ground before the building explodes. Shortly after, the police arrive at the scene and find Hideo still alive, but they are killed by him. Meanwhile, Miggy senses that Hideo is still alive and heading to the roof. Shinichi grabs a steel pipe and climbs to the top of another building. Miggy transforms into a bow, and Shinichi shoots the iron bar at Hideo, killing him for good. Ryoko then appears and informs them that she will disappear for a while to have the baby. Before leaving, she gives him the location of Mr. A. Shinichi follows the address and finds the creature, who also senses their arrival and leads them to a different location for their final battle. Miggy tells Shinichi that he feels sleepy and wishes him luck before transforming into a blade for him to use in battle on his own. The creature initiates the fight, and Shinichi manages to defend himself well against most of the attacks. When the creature is about to deliver the final blow, Shinichi's mother's consciousness overcomes the parasite and deflects the attack. Seizing the opportunity, Shinichi kills the creature. Afterward, Takeshi wins the mayoral election, while detectives Hirama and Tsuji are brought to police headquarters, where Special Assault Team Commander Yamagishi asks them to sign a confidentiality agreement regarding an anonymous operation project. Later, Ryoko and Takeshi have a conversation with a parasite named Goto, who reveals that upon taking over his host, he received orders to eliminate all humans. Meanwhile, Shinichi visits Satomi in the hospital, where he determines to hunt down and kill all the parasites, unaware that someone is secretly taking photos of him and Miggy.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out our channel for more videos.